So no Wednesday night dash this week. So this would probably be a pretty quick episode. I'm DJ Flook.
Erik Richardson here.
And well, we had the Rolex 24 last weekend. I don't think it disappointed. What's weird about it for me was I've honestly, like I said last week, I've never actually really sat down and watched it before. I probably watched, I don't know, maybe 5 hours of it. Actually sat in front of the TV and watched about 5 hours over the 24. How about you?
I was able to get a little bit. I watched a lot of it through the night, but my wife and I went over to Detroit on Sunday, so I wasn't able to see the finish of it, which was pretty crazy.
I missed the finish too.
But it was fun watching a lot of it through the nighttime. And it was actually a lot of fun watching cars go around like, oh, that's International Horseshoe, that's bus stop. I'm like, I just did that in the game last week.
Yeah, and it's just I was just sitting there. I'm like, I know exactly where that is. Oh, that's turn 4. That's turn 6. Oh, there's the bus stop. Yeah, and I was driving my wife nuts with that. The other thing was it got down to like 47 degrees. And there's like, you see these cars driving, and on the infield, you have people with their RVs, and they have like a 50-gallon drum, and just like flames are shooting out of it.
They're like, pretty chilly.
Yeah, they're like 50 feet from the cars. You just see this, this flaming barrel right behind the track, and no harm, no foul, I guess. But what also got weird is around, I don't know, about 2 a.m. Eastern time, they cut over off of USA to Peacock. And the NBC broadcast actually ended. The team left, and they actually just through the night ran IMSA radio. And it was just like the IMSA radio guys, but I mean the sound, it didn't sound like it was radio. I mean, it was good quality audio, but it was the IMSA radio guys during the overnight hours from about
interesting.
Yeah, from about 2 to 6 a.m. until I think it was USA picked the coverage back up the next morning.
Started there and then switched, and I think the last like hour and a half or 2 hours went to NBC.
Went back to Lee Diffie calling the action. So they had a decent, they had a who's who of the announcing crew out there. You had your IndyCar announcers. I think was it Ricky Stenhouse Jr. made a guest appearance at one point. I think
didn't see that. I think I saw Hinchcliffe on there. Maybe I was just watching the cars. I really wasn't listening to the announcers that much.
It was a combination of your NBC IndyCar and your NBC NASCAR crew that were mixed up. You had Parker Kligerman on the on the pit wall playing pit reporter, and he actually got stuck out there until 2 a.m. and he tweeted at like midnight Eastern time. He's like, I'm out here till 2 a.m. and if you tweet me questions, I'll ask them to people that I talk to, but the catch is you have to watch the broadcast and watch for me to see if I answered your question or not. So that was pretty cool. Good finish, you mentioned already.
Congratulations to the
Meyer Shank team.
Meyer Shank with Castro Nevis and Simon Pagenaud on it.
Third year in a row for them.
Great to see that team with some success.
The craziest thing about this for me is the top 3 cars race for 24 hours. You have 4 drivers, actually the third team of Sebastian Bourdais, Scott Dixon, and I'm going to botch this terribly, Reinier van der Zande. I botched that, I'm sure. Three
Cadillac.
Yeah, 3 of them in there. First to third was separated by 9.63 seconds in a 24-hour race.
Yeah, that's just wild to me that long and you finish that close. Didn't one of the finishes actually come down to like a almost photo finish?
Yeah. I forget
which one that was.
Let's
maybe
see.
The LMP2.
No, FP2. Yeah, LMP2. Excuse me. The team of Earl Bamber, Alex Lynn, and Richard Westbrook won their class by 0.238 seconds.
That is close in 24 hours.
I think that's right. Yeah, I mean it was the pass was NBC put the pass on there for the win. That was a wild finish. Got some Rolex watches handed out over the weekend. Not a bad gig. You drive your car, take turns driving a car for 24 hours, you get handed a Rolex.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
You want 4 drivers? We kind of saw what that was like, splitting time with 4 of us. No, interesting numbers. I saw it before the race went out from IndyCar. They had a lot of drivers in this field. It was
what was the number?
but we had 23 that have started at least one IndyCar series race. 10 of them have won at least one IndyCar series race. 3 of them have at least won a series championship. And 11 have won have won at least one Indy NXT by Firestone race.
That's some crazy statistics. There are only a couple NASCAR drivers on there. I saw Austin Cindric was in there. I think that might have been it.
Yeah, I didn't catch or see really any NASCAR names.
Yeah, Austin Cindric was in an LMP2 with Erik Lux, Devlin DeFrancesco IndyCar, and Pietro Fittipaldi, who is he in F2 right now?
I think he is F2.
He's done some IndyCar before, hasn't he?
Possibly.
I feel like he has.
Well, and one fun thing, there is a NASCAR team getting ready for Le Mans.
Yes.
The Garage 56
The
with
Garage 56.
Johnson
Yep.
and Formula One racer Jenson Button.
Yes. I saw a trivia question about him the other day, and I think it was from the British Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and it said British former Formula One driver Jenson what, and the choices were like button, zipper, fly, or something like that. And it was the 300-pound question. The person guessed zipper.
Then
yes, former Formula One driver Jenson Zipper.
Mike Rockenfeller is the third person on the team.
Now is that a Hendrick sanctioned car?
Yes, it is from Hendrick Motorsports. They are getting the next gen Camaro ready.
That's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how that works out. Yeah, Pietro Fittipaldi did 6 races for Dale Coyne in 2018.
I thought I had seen a Fittipaldi name.
I mean, obviously we know Emerson Fittipaldi. He won. Wow, this is crazy. So Christian Fittipaldi is a first cousin once removed, and his uncle is Max Papis.
Oh,
I did not know that the Fittipaldi and Max Papis were.
I feel like I maybe heard that, but I could just be lying out of my teeth on that one.
I did not know that. That's where it's just you read about these things and these connections by my marriage, and I just finished this book a while back on Ford, and Bill Ford Jr., who's currently the chairman of Ford, his father Bill Sr., his mother is Martha Firestone, who is the granddaughter of Harvey Firestone, the founder of Firestone Tires. So you have literally the chairman of Ford with Ford and Firestone blood, which makes remember the Firestone Ford debacle with the Explorers and the tire pressure and the rollovers in the early 2000s led to a nasty divorce between Ford and Firestone.
That was a fun Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, that must have been pretty awkward for Bill Ford Jr., who we'd love to have on the show. Open invitation. But anyway, coming up this weekend, we have the Clash at the Coliseum. Is that what it's officially called?
Was it the Busch Clash?
Busch Clash.
I always like Daytona 24 because it kicks off I feel like the racing
It
season.
does. It really does. The
It,
Busch Light
set
Clash
up
at the
to
Coliseum.
get ready for speed weeks and
It-
ultimately Daytona.
oh, breaking news. Well, not so. It's been a couple days. The Grand Marshal of the NASCAR Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum is actor Rob Lowe.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that yet.
Oh, and I still had a weird sighting of Rob Lowe in person a few years ago, which that was really weird. I'm at the food court in the Scottsdale Mall. Or I'm actually at a Starbucks in the food court in the Scottsdale Mall waiting for my drink. And I turn around and I'm just like, did Rob Lowe just walk by me? And I'm just like, no way. But it's like there's only one person who looks like that, and it's Rob Lowe. And it turns out it was. He was there at like Neiman Marcus doing he had like a Rob Lowe cologne or something that he was there for some release party. And yeah, Rob Lowe just
Yeah, it's still pretty cool.
yeah, Rob Lowe just casually walked by me. I'm like, what?
No, I'm interested to see how this race goes this year. I watched last year's and it's kind of like, what's going on? They're just too wide for the longest time, and there's
I
no
think
room on the track.
it's just they didn't know what I think. Well, you had the new car
Yeah,
that was
new
being run
car,
for the first time. They didn't know,
brand new track.
brand new track. So it's just like, what better way to break in the new car with a brand new track that has no space whatsoever. And I think it was Tyler Reddick was the only one who was actually trying to shift during that race, or one of the very few people trying to shift, and he just blew up his car. So I don't know if he'll repeat that strategy this year.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see what happens. They got some experience on it now. They've had a full season running the next gens. It'll be interesting.
I know why they do it. They want the LA market, they want the Hollywood, they want the celebrities showing up. But I mean, I don't know, it just seems weird to me to do this event with like, yeah, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna go and grab our haulers and we're gonna book it to the other side of the country for Daytona immediately afterwards. So I don't know. I don't think a lot of people cared for it last year, but
It was a fun gimmick.
yeah.
Maybe for 2 years, but if it doesn't change, I'm gonna keep saying it though. Bring back the Rock. We got North Wilkesboro on the schedule this year.
Yes, indeed. But
We'll see how it goes.
I don't know. I just
Another fun thing, they're running mufflers this year at that race.
they are, yeah. They're using those in the urban areas, and they were actually testing that at Phoenix last week. I wish they'd give more notice of this, because I'm 40 minutes away from the track, and they had free admission. You come on into the track, and see it. And honestly, like, they showed two clips back to back of one with the mufflers and one without them. And I mean, I know
not much of a difference.
I know my hearing's not great, and it's a phone video, but I couldn't tell much of a difference between them. People are freaking out like mufflers. But my favorite one though is they're making rain tires available this year.
Yes, that's one of the rule changes this year.
One of the tracks they're having rain tires is Phoenix.
Does it rain there?
Yeah, it does. Just typically not the time when they're here. So I'm like, okay, that's a strange place to do rain tires, but geographically. But hey, we got the Super Bowl coming here in a week. It's pretty crazy time around here. So
that's right. You got a Super Bowl this year.
Yes, indeed. I'm heading out to Glendale this weekend. We're gonna take a look and see what the chaos before everyone really starts showing up. I see all these advertisements for all these parties that are going on. It's like, hey, come check out Guy Fieri's tailgate party and pop-up concert with DJ Diesel, which is Shaq. And this place is going to be insane for the next like week and a half this weekend. So Super Bowl. First time I've been in the same city as a Super Bowl, or I guess the same area, but
And
And
speaking of those rule changes,
I know.
updated penalties for wheel coming off a car.
Yep. Good
We
move.
got the change to amount of time teams have to repair cars on pit road via
Yep.
the damaged vehicle policy. Change to playoff eligibility for drivers. I think they got rid of the point requirement. Cars could run in wet weather conditions on short ovals. I'll get to those here in a second. Extension of the restart zone on a trial basis. I'm okay with that one. It'll be fun. And the choose rule will be in place for more races.
And most
Yep.
importantly, a clarification of a rule, not a rule change, but a clarification of a rule that we will never again see a Hail Melon Ross Chastain wall ride.
I mean, I get it. It's purely a safety thing. If he crashed half the field and somebody got seriously hurt, we'd be talking something different. But man, that was epic.
There's they say there's the quote. He had the luxury of it not have been tried. I mean, it has been tried, but nobody's one pulled it off to that level. And two, at such a high stakes moment where it was getting you into the last four going into championship weekend. That clip's going to be seen forever, though.
Yeah, and it's NASCAR lore now. Those short tracks, we get Lucas Oil Raceway Park, Martinsville. That would be wild. Milwaukee, New Hampshire, North Wilkesboro, Phoenix, which seems more not a short track the way that it drives.
I mean,
Richmond, kind of the same deal. But the other one is the LA Memorial Coliseum. How awesome would it be to watch them run in the rain on Sunday?
like it rains like 4 days a year in Los Angeles. At least we have like a monsoon season here in Phoenix, but it doesn't rain. Like 3 inches of rain a year in Los Angeles.
I'd be interested. I want to see the drivers be safe, but I'd be interested to just see one oval race in the rain, if it's even possible with rain tires.
I feel like
I'd
we're
be
gonna see
curious
it.
to see it.
I mean, we had like, where was that a couple years ago? Was it New Hampshire where it was raining and they waited and you just
Oh,
had all the cars go. I remember Kyle Busch was involved, and he just went sliding off the track. He was pretty upset, as you know.
that was what the what Pepsi 400 or Coke 400, whatever. What do they call it now in Daytona for the second race, where they hit the rain patch in turn one and everybody stood out?
Yeah, there was that one too. I forgot about that one. The one where Austin Dillon miraculously made it through a gigantic wreck untouched. And to this day, I still don't understand how he pulled that off. I have the photo of Ross Chastain. His car just right next to Denny Hamlin.
And everybody's like, well, where did he come from?
Justin Marks tweeted today, might just leave that Martinsville car alone for a while. You think that car will end up in the NASCAR Hall of Fame?
Part of me wants to say it needs to.
I think it
The other
needs
part
to.
of me is like,
It needs to. It's got to
maybe.
go. Like you got to put it in there.
I think if it can withstand the test of time here for next couple of years and just be one of the all-time legendary moments.
I mean, now that they've shut it down, we're not going to see anybody attempt it now, or shouldn't see anybody try to attempt it. That it's not like we're going to see imitation copycats diluting it anymore. I think it was a good idea. I mean, it also helped that there was only one race left, and I'm not sure how well the wall ride would have worked at Phoenix had a scenario happened for that. But, NASCAR made it clear that they waited till the season was over. They looked at, a bunch of different things with safety. They consulted with different experts, and then they made this decision where they cited, what did they say? Rule 10.5.2.6.a, which is basically a safety rule that says that NASCAR can deem something if it if it risks the safety of the competitors or the crews or the fans, that they can penalize you for that. Where it's just they just said no rule change. It's just that falls under that rule. It's
I
essentially what
wonder
came
if
out of
they
it.
had money on something because that's definitely exciting and it got a lot of people talking about NASCAR.
Well, and Ross Chastain's profile just instantly went way up. There
And I
was a
kind of feel
clip.
like you want something like that.
But yeah, I mean,
Get back to the glory days.
you've got Chase Elliott, who's become the de facto popular driver after Dale Jr. retires, and then now Ross Chastain, like all of a sudden, is giving Chase Elliott a run for his money on that vote.
And you got
He
Chase and Rowdy as the kind of two big dogs.
he so I in the following week in Phoenix, they have the garages open and the people can like literally walk inside the garage and watch the teams work. And Ross came walking in to his garage for the first time all weekend, and the place just erupted with cheers for him and chanting his name. And it's just like, oh, it's so cool that we're kind of making fun of him earlier in the year, like, oh, that reckless melon farmer is out there wrecking people, and he had some controversial wins, and his win at Coda was a little. There's a little bit of extra, a little bit of shoving on the final lap there, but
We got a couple weeks until the actual season kicks off. Do you think we're gonna see the number of winners that we did last season, or is it gonna balance out? Now that the teams and drivers have a year under their belt with this car.
I don't think we're gonna see quite that number, but I still think it's gonna be pretty high. Because there's so much parity in these cars. Here's actually my biggest question going into this year is Brad Keselowski goes into his new team, in his ownership role of the newly named RFK Racing, and was a non-factor all year. Guys,
Yep.
Many successful years with Penske, won a championship there. Any is he gonna bounce back, or is he fading out?
I don't know. I feel like with how much parity there was in the cars, you would have expected him up front at some point.
I mean, we got to a point last year where the Daytona race, because of all the accidents, and we had Austin Dillon holding off Cody Ware for the win. I mean, yeah, that was unique, and like I said, I don't think we're going to see quite as many different winners, but we have Truex, which I know Harvick is retiring after this season. Truex,
Yeah, I'm not. Excuse me, I haven't heard anything about Truex.
I know there were questions if he was.
Yeah, Harvick's last year.
I have to look. He has kicked the pail down the. I'll let you know in like September. It's not even off the radar right now. It's not even on the radar. So we don't know yet. This could be Truex's last year. Kurt Busch, won't have him this year.
Have we heard a return date for him?
For Kurt?
Yeah.
He's running a partial schedule, isn't he?
Yeah, it's gonna be partial, but has he been fully cleared to return to racing yet?
I don't know.
I haven't heard that.
I haven't heard a thing. I wasn't even sure if he was going to race this year. I know he was considering a partial schedule, but I think Jimmy Johnson going to be running the partial schedule.
Yeah,
Travis
with,
Pastrana trying to get into Daytona.
Yep. We'll have to do some digging and see if we can come up with some of
Yeah,
this stuff for next week.
we got some homework to do. So I think we'll wrap on that note. And
Looking forward to a clash.
we got
Couple
the
days.
clash this weekend. Wednesday night dash goes to Pocono. We got some pretty good practice in this week. Hoping I can shave another half second off my time. And if I can do that, I think I'll be right up there. I need a good competitive race, and I think this is a good opportunity.
And it's shaping up. I need to try and keep it clean here. I'm kind of in an unfamiliar position.
And for the Chicago race on the 22nd of February, we have a race sponsor. So we don't have a formal name for the event yet, but the Merch Booth podcast has stepped in and will be sponsoring the Chicago event. And I've got some notes out to the fine people at Jepson's Malort asking if they want to do something together for this. So we get some Malort giveaways in there or something, and we'll see.
Yeah, should be fun.
Must be 21
races. Yeah, Pocono will be blast here next week, and then 2 weeks again in Chicago Street. That's gonna be a wild one.
Even some of the stronger drivers in the league are not feeling too good about that. I'm just, from my standpoint, if I can avoid the meatball flag, I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna bump and scrape the car up. That's pretty much a given. But if I can stay out of damage territory that I have to pit for repairs, might have a chance. I also need to look at fuel strategy and tires too. I haven't.
Yeah, I need to get through Pocono first. We've done some
2 weeks
testing in Chicago. Haven't gone that far yet.
I think we might need to have an open practice for Chicago with the group.
If you want to join, come on in.
Yeah, you wanted to come see this mess, but
let's play some bumper cars.
Yeah, February 22nd. You got a preview of this disaster that's going to be in Chicago in July.
On the 4th of July weekend.
Again, why that weekend? Worst possible weekend to do that.
But I don't get it.
I don't know.
Hey, not my call.
At FR Racing Online, frracingonline.com. Check out the blog post. We actually got a post up this week on the results from Daytona 24 and some lessons learned, both from driving and a broadcasting standpoint. So check that out.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you.